TED Talk slow version. Hi, good morning. Hello. Thank you for having me. So let's get started with my TED Talks. I'm very first time. So I am the last born in my family that follows and honors traditional values. My oldest sister was a lecturer, and my second sister is working for public sector. And their parents was exactly the same as my parents expected. Finishing college, getting married at the age of 24, having a job, and having kids. And my parents expected me to have the same path. In my sophomore year of high school, when both of my sisters both got married, my family got a big debt pit. I still remember my parents. They have to get up every day, work very hard to make sure that I still got a decent life and a good education regardless. I still remember my mom. She had to borrow money so that she could have enough 23 million baht done for me to pay my tuition fee when it was candidates and the National Excellent Students Contest, the subjects of English, which was pretty expensive back then. And then I passed the contest, which meant I got the offers from several universities within the country. And when I got the news, my mom was the happiest. She was like, "Hooray! Now you're able to get into security academy." So, for your information, to get into your university, you have to get a score of around 29 out of 30 and then entrance university exam, which was obviously impossible for me because I was super bad at math. And plus, you were very likely to get a job offer after graduation. And that is really my parents wanted me to study that university because they want to feel reassured that I got a stable job, I got a foreseeable future, the so-called foreseeable future. As much as I did want to disappoint my parents, I knew that this path was not for me. I knew that I was not cut off for this job as the police officer because all I wanted to do was television and communication, and that was my very first step outside the norm, which I think doesn't necessarily mean that you're the first person to do something in the world. It just simply means that what you're doing is not normal, is not familiar in your close network of your friends, of your family, and you have no idea how things will turn out. So I got into college, and on a very beautiful day, I posted a video of me covering a very cute song named View Phone. So, after one night, that video went viral over the internet. And wow, after a few weeks later, I got an invitation to film the music video and write parts of the song with the songwriter. And wow, the song became a hit. and the MV got millions of views. And wow, a CEO of entertainment agency contacted me. Everything happens so quickly that I didn't have time to process it. And the CEO persuaded me to become a singer under his company, and I was like, yeah, I was pretty interested, but I still have a college to finish. And then he told me his story of dropping out of college and his senior year to become a director, and now he made it. And I was like, wow, that would be like a lot of fun. I think this would very be a big opportunity for me. My time to shine. On the other side of the spectrum, the music video got good response in general, but regarding my voice in singing, people didn't like it much. And of course, I was very sad, pretty sad, and discouraged. I asked my parents for advice, and my mom asked me, so despite all the opinions on the people on your voice, do you still want to pursue a career as a singer? And I was hesitating. I told my mom, I'm not sure. Another story. Still, during the time, I hosted the 3 English show on the TV7, which is the national education channel. And everything was going pretty well until I read comments on the internet, and most of the audience did not like my voice, and they complained about my hosting skills, my English, and these shows were for learning English, so that host is supposed to have a good English. If I was trying to sell you a pen and you did buy it, it's okay. I could blame the pen is not good, but when the product is me, when it's me appearing on the national TV and serving millions audience all across the nation, it is getting harder and harder to sleep at night. And seeing me getting disappointed, being sad in myself time from time to time, then my mom asked me, have you ever considered quitting this job? I mean, you're still a student. You don't have to work. You can fail. You can try. I just wanted to be healthy and happy every day. And in your voice in me right at the moment told my mom that, no, mom, I still want to keep working because I know I can fix it. And then my mom told me, then congratulations, I think that you have already found your passion. And I was passion. I have found my passion. And yes, I found my passion on that day. I soon realized that passion is something that pushes you through the difficult time because you don't care whatever it takes to become better. I'd like to sing, but I didn't have enough determination because to push myself through people's opinions on my voice, and I quit. That means I don't have enough passion for it. I like to do job of a TV host, and I know I have a strong willingness to face and overcome adversity for what I love. And as a result, I rejected the offer this year, and a lot of people I know, when a lot of experts in the industry told me that I think that was a best decision. I think if you sure I knew I wouldn't do that. But the things here that is that the best advice is the advice that people give you for you, not the advice what would they do if they were you everyone different. And the lesson I learned hard from my biggest time in my life is that people cannot take the right decisions in your life. Only you can. By listening more to your inner voice and by staying true to your vision. And I know that my vision has always been that education. Education has always been my backbone, my family's backbone. And finishing college, using what I learned to bring value to people as the host, as a social influencer, as an author has been always my ultimate goal. It can be very difficult to navigate in a first, but it is sometimes better to take conscious decisions that might appear very crazy, very not right for others, than just following the norms blindly. And then, getting back to my story, I still continue with my work as a TV host and TV7. I still be a full-time student in my diplomatic academy of Vietnam. And regarding my voice, as a lot of audience complains about my too high pitched voice, which was very irritating to listen to, and they disliked my voice. I decided I was so determined to change my voice by lowering the tone of my voice when speaking English. From hello, this is very nice day. Yes, it was exactly my voice in the past. To hello, this is a very nice day. Everything was going to pretty well once again when one day the producer director of the show I hosted unloaded the podcast that had me hosting with that high-pitched voice, I guess probably back in the season 1, the first season of show. And then I asked them it was okay to delete the podcast because I found the voice was terrible and the audience might not like it. It was too afraid to just be again by the audience. And he texted me back and I feel disappointment and anger a little bit in his messages. He told me, that voice was the part of you. Why did you deny it? Okay, so no more podcasts that had you will be uploaded ever again. And I was like, what? Did I do something wrong? What was happening? And I'm making you angry? I didn't know what happening back. I was so stupid. It was not until when I talked to people, I talked to my audience, and I raised more comments, and people started to say, what happened to your voice, B? You spoke too quietly and softly that it's really hard to listen to you, and we could really find the positive energy, the fun vibe like before. And that moment left me speechless because I was too confident that positive energy was something I could always bring to people. That was my unique selling point. But when the audience couldn't find that in me, it felt like a loss of part in my body. I really lost sight of who I was. I listened to people's opinions and I changed who I am because I think others might accept me for it. but I was wrong. What I have been doing so far is not trying to become better, but trying to become someone else. By rejecting myself, by seeking validation from every single one. What the professor and the director told me just went on the loop in my brain for weeks. That voice was the part of you. Why did you deny it? Why did I deny it? I didn't know. I think because we as humans often make a lot of mistakes, and we often, very often, punish ourselves for those past mistakes because those mistakes often come back with overwhelming feeling of guilt, of shame. If I am not good at, I have never been good at. And I realized that the hardest person to forgive on this earth is not someone who betrays you, another friend who wasn't there for you when you need the most. It's not your ex-boyfriend who broke your heart to pieces. The hardest person to forgive on this earth is myself. And then my best friend told me to stop doing what I have been so far, which is pleasing every single one. And he said, just be yourself. That's 3 words. I know we listen to this phrase all the time. Just be yourself. That means when I'm having a shower, just be yourself. When I'm eating, just be yourself. When on the stairs, just be yourself. When I'm talking to you, just be yourself. Just be yourself. Just 3 words you hear all the time and we're getting tired of it. But it's the use of the word just that really surprised me, because when we use the words just, it means it is something very easy to do. Then why just being myself? It's still the hardest thing for me to do. Why? I didn't know. And after talking to my therapist, after learning more about meditation, about my inner peace, listening more to my inner voice, I realized that my true self is actually being covered up with the thinking and with the perception which is based on fear. My true self is who I really am, who I let go of all those stories, of all the judgments that I myself place on me. Do you still remember the challenges or things people would post 10 years challenge, where people would post their pictures when they were kids, and people when friends would comment, oh, you look so cute, you look so happy, you're so nice, and then the person would say, yeah, I was cute back. But my challenge I think for you today is that take a picture of your face today. And remember that in 10 years time, you will be amazed at how gorgeous and beautiful you are, because right now you're already gorgeous and beautiful because you just don't see it yet. My story of stepping outside the norm is challenging myself, but it is not about change myself, because as you can see, I failed when I try to change myself. At the end of the day, we as humans, we are allowed to make mistakes. We are allowed to love ourselves. We are allowed, to do something wrong just to make the mistakes. It's not the end of the world. Who on the earth not just make the mistakes? Tell me the name. Who? No one. So it's okay to feel bad. It's okay to feel down, happy sometimes, because the cloud rains when you're happy too. So it's okay. It's totally normal. You don't have to try to become anyone else. You don't have to try to become this guy, this lady, that lady. No. You don't have to try to become anyone else. You just be your you. And being you, being authentic, being an individual is enough. Because individuality makes diversity. And individuality and diversity are two most precious things on earth. I know that some of you here, every single one of you here, might be having some problems and the pressure to deal with every single